when the suspect was on the freeway, we heard the Sheriff's Department request for the California Highway Patrol to take over the pursuit. But now that it's off the freeway, it's back in Sheriff's territory. So I don't believe that the California Highway Patrol would get involved in this situation, as the suspect here is straddling both lanes here now, wrong side of the road, as he continues on Agua Dulce Canyon Road.
You know, Michael and I were just sort of motioning to each other. When we saw the black and white there, was there any chance there may have been a spike strip across the road that we missed?
Oh, there was one right there. You called it, Colleen. It was right there, and it looks like he caught maybe just the tail end of it. He may have hit it there on the passenger side front tire. We'll see if that tire starts to lose pressure as this pursuit continues on. But it looks like this.
Here we go. Look, that looks like a pit maneuver coming up.
Yep, yeah. CHP unit getting in position to perform that pit, but the suspect is able to continue on as he is now entering the southbound side of the 14 freeway.
Yeah, almost had that pit there as on the on-ramp there. Again, back on the 14 freeway. This changes the dynamic of things here once again, Eliana.
Correction, I need to correct that real quick, Michael. It's the 14 northbound. So
northbound,
now on the northbound 14 freeway, and as you said, this changes things because when he was on on Soledad Canyon Road, really not too much in the way of traffic, and now you see what he's going to come up to right there. Just clip that truck and continuing on.
You know, but let's explain what a spike strip does as well. You know, clearly they wanted to keep him off the freeway. That's why they put a spike strip out there. But, you know, a lot of people think you run over a spike strip and all of a sudden your tires blow. That is not what happens. A spike strip will put these spikes into the tires, and typically it takes a while for the tires to go flat. So it's not a blowout situation where you'll see something immediately. He's probably, if he caught that spike strip, losing air, at least on that one side, a little bit at a time. And
we typically see a difference in driving techniques if that spike strip was successful. But it looked as if perhaps maybe just one side, but not the entire.
Well, it's harder to handle the car if you've got if you've got one or two tires that are deflating as you go.
All right, so Eliana, we're on the 14 northbound freeway. Can you give us the nearest exit, kind of set the location for us?
Yeah, the nearest exit will be Agua Dulce Canyon Road, so a street that we have mentioned a few times already, and he's traveling here in the carpool lane, but of course we still don't know how many people are in the car. He is appears to be driving okay. It looks like if that spike strip did any effect, it's still very slow. So we have not seen him slow down much in ways. Yeah, oh wow, that was close. He hasn't slowed down much. He's traveling at about 90 to 100 miles an hour, so almost as fast as we can fly as he continues here on the northbound side of the 14 freeway, coming up to Escondido Canyon Road.
And clearly, lanes mean nothing to him. When we saw him on Soledad Canyon Road, he was all over the road, and there you see him all over the freeway here. Is there any talk that maybe they will back off this and just track him? He's really one of the most dangerous drivers we've seen in a long time.
Absolutely. I believe that they're starting to consider that here, and if they do that, essentially what they're going to do is they will only follow him with the helicopter. They're going to have the units back off to essentially have the suspect think that he is no longer being pursued. They're hoping that if they do that, he'll start to slow his speeds down, he'll start to drive a little more carefully, more calmly, and will hopefully decrease the danger level when it comes to this pursuit. But for now, let me widen out, perhaps that we can see how close the nearest squad car is. And there isn't a unit anywhere close to him, really. So it does look like they have effectively gone into tracking mode.
Yeah, I thought I saw a black and white there with lights on, not too far behind. But again, Eliana, just refresh my memory. This started in Palmdale, made its way down to Santa Clarita, now heading back up into the Palmdale area, Antelope Valley area.
He's coming up to a lot of traffic here on the 14 freeway, heading back up to where that pursuit began. Now on the right, now in the center divider here, this is very dangerous because if your car breaks down, you have a flat tire or an engine issue, this is where you would pull over. And to have this guy coming at you at about 70 miles an hour, it is extremely dangerous.
We want to remind our viewers, if you're just joining us, this car is the one we're focusing on. This is a Honda CRV, and the want on this driver is assault with a deadly weapon on a deputy or some sort of law enforcement, so they know the person inside the car is probably armed. Is this the shoulder of the road, or is this a carpool lane?
unfortunately, it is the shoulder of the road, so this is what makes it so dangerous. If there's a car up ahead that's broken down, this guy is going to plow right into him. So it makes for such a dangerous and scary situation. You see why he's doing it. Traffic is slow here on the northbound side of the 14 as he comes into the Acton area, and so that is why he's traveling in that lane. And I shouldn't even call it a lane because it's not a lane, but you can understand just how dangerous this has become.
Yeah, you know, Eliana, these speeds have really picked up here. You last clocked anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour here.
And he appears to be going faster.
Yeah, we're still looking at about 100 to 110, really picking up speed.
Oh, yeah, this driver is certainly punching it. Again, this all started in Palmdale, was in Santa Clarita, and we saw there on that 2-lane road there, driving at very quick speeds there. But again, we saw what appeared to be a spike strip that was laid down by sheriff's deputies. I think we can call that up here just to give you a recap or a replay of it. But wasn't quite sure whether or not he actually hit it and made his way back onto the 14 northbound, and this is where we are now.
Yeah, I'm looking at there it is right there. And just before, as well, there appeared to be some sort of attempted pit maneuver. Just as he's getting on the freeway here, he's about to get on the 14 freeway. You see that black and white come up behind him. He accelerates, and the officer just clips the back bumper. Had he had about another foot or so, he might have been able to spin him out. Yeah,
initially, Eliana, you mentioned speeds are about 85 miles an hour, but things are still ratcheted up here on the freeway. 14 northbound, you're saying, what, 100 to 110 miles an hour right now?
Yeah, we're still clocking him at about 100 to 110 miles an hour on the northbound side of the 14 freeway coming up to Crown Valley Road. I'm trying to peek inside to see if we can perhaps see if it is a man or a woman behind the wheel. It does appear to be a man, but we haven't heard official confirmation on that on the scanner just yet. We also have not heard how many people may be inside the car. We know that the suspect, though, is wanted for assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer. That police officer would be a sheriff's deputy from the Palmdale station, which is where this pursuit began, and the car is actually registered to Palmdale, so he is heading in that same direction. Typically what we see in pursuits is that suspects tend to return to an area that is familiar to them, and it appears that that is the case in this situation as well.
Yeah, he looks like he's made an exact loop. He was going southbound on the 14 to Soledad Canyon. We first heard about it. He was at Crown Valley, speeds 85 miles an hour, and now he's headed back in that direction. Is that the closest exit there, Crown Valley?
Yeah, it was Crown Valley. The next exit coming up after that would be Santiago Road, continuing here on the northbound side of the 14 freeway. And the good thing is he's going in the right direction this time. Very early in this pursuit, we actually heard that he was going the wrong way on the freeway. So that was an incredibly dangerous situation, but fortunately he didn't hit anyone. He exited the freeway, and that's when we came overhead and have been covering the pursuit ever since.
Oh, you know, we know that the sheriff's helicopter is overhead, and we were some talk about whether or not some black and whites were behind him. How close is the closest black and white to this Honda CRV?
Yeah, let me widen out to see if there's anywhere nearby. I am not seeing one within about a quarter mile of the suspect's vehicle. I believe they have gone into what is called surveillance mode or tracking mode, and that is when the sheriff's helicopter will be the one to track this pursuit. They're the ones that are continuing to call out the streets and letting everyone know where this suspect's car is. And again, the reason they do that is they don't want to have the suspect believe that he is still being pursued and continue to drive erratically. But at this point, it doesn't seem to be working. He's really not slowing down. He continues to drive erratically. So if it's not working, they will get the units behind the suspect's car yet again.
Ileana, is there any evidence at all that perhaps they blocked off some of the ramps ahead of this pursuit?
Let me see if I can check here on the next ramp coming up. We have an exit coming up right there, and it looks like it is still open. So essentially, what happens with those situations?
Well, he's now in a carpool lane. He's in a carpool lane. I just saw the diamond there, and he's moved up. He seems to be really close on the tail of that one SUV. Of course, he just moved out of there. He is all over the freeway. What is amazing as we look at this, too, is that the traffic is pretty light on this freeway for this hour of the day.
Yeah, we're talking, we're approaching the 6 o'clock hour, and Colleen, he has taken up every single lane possible. And we've seen earlier on this chase in the 14 northbound, him squeezing in between cars without any regard whatsoever. Now, this last attempt, though, he actually seemed to have slowed down a bit, and actually a car got out of his way. And again, he just took off once again. So again, it doesn't appear to be any black and whites behind him. We saw one not too long ago, but being tracked by the LA County Sheriff's helicopter right now. And again, thinking that perhaps he or she is going to slow down. Yet, as you mentioned, Eliana, doesn't seem to be working right now.
It doesn't seem to be working, and he actually just lowered his window. So this is actually our opportunity to peek inside and see if we can gather any more information about who this suspect is. He does appear to be a man, and he does appear to be on his phone. Now I'm looking at the other seats, trying to see if anybody else is in there with him. It doesn't appear to be the case, and now he's traveling here on the right shoulder.
With his flashers
so dangerous.
On. Yeah, he just put the flashers on. You know, I couldn't tell. Is that a nap? What is on his shoulder?
Yeah, there does appear to be something white there, huh, Colleen? Difficult to tell, perhaps something, maybe perhaps part of his sweater, but he is perhaps exiting here on Mountain Springs Road. So I'm going to widen out just so that we don't miss what's going on here. And sure enough, there is a CHP unit right behind him. And let's see if this is his opportunity to just give up before anybody gets hurt.
Yeah, it's interesting as we watch this. There he slows. He didn't stop for the. He put his flashers on all of a sudden there. Boy, it looks like he's about ready to pull over. Is one of those tires a little lower, the front passenger side?
I think the front passenger side tire is a little bit lower. We saw him possibly hit the spike strip on that side. So it looks like this may be it. Sierra Highway with a cross of Angeles Forest Highway. He just got off the northbound side of the 14 freeway. As you said, Colleen, he put his flashers on, exited, and now you see the about four CHP units, some LA County Sheriff's units as well behind the suspect's car. He just dropped his phone, and he is now going to follow the commands of the California Highway Patrol as they have him step away from the vehicle. He dropped the keys already, and he will be in custody here in the next few minutes.
You know, it's hard to tell, but that looks like there's some sort of vest or uniform or something.
Yeah, difficult to tell. I'm going to push in here. Maybe we can figure out what it may be. It may just be a design on his jacket.
On his jacket.
And then I believe that that's his phone there that we're seeing on the floor. So you see him lifting up his jacket, lifting up his shirt. The deputies and the officers want to make sure that there is nothing on his person that could possibly hurt them once they attempt to take him into custody. So at this point, he does appear to be complying. They're going to have him walk back to the sound of their voices. They're going to take him into custody, and then they will clear the vehicle for additional suspects.
All right, this, again, this sometimes gets to be the most dangerous part because the original want on this guy was assault with a deadly weapon on a deputy, but it looks like he is now in custody.
We begin at 6 with breaking news. This police pursuit that has just come to a conclusion in the Acton area. And as Colleen mentioned, that driver wanted for assault.
Once again, let's go back out to Ileana Moreno overhead in News Chopper 4 Alpha. Ileana, can you give us an idea of what happens at this point?
Colleen and Carolyn, they're now going to take the driver into custody. You see them patting him down to make sure that there's nothing on his person that could hurt them, any type of weapon. And they just cleared the vehicle as well for additional suspects. There is nobody else inside, but they're going to check the trunk as well to make sure nobody is hiding back there. That one officer there picking up the suspect's phone. This is a pursuit that started in Palmdale, an assault with a deadly weapon suspect, an assault on a police officer out of the Palmdale area, made its way southbound on the 14 freeway. It exited the freeway at Soledad Canyon until it got back on the freeway heading northbound. And finally here at Sierra Highway, the suspect pulled off the freeway and he is now in custody.
And we're just learning, Eliana, that this driver is accused of trying to run down a sheriff's deputy with that vehicle. So there is the assault with a deadly weapon.
That would be the deadly weapon there.
And just incredible. We saw some dangerous driving, incredibly high speed, sideswiping a number of cars on the freeway.
And a pit maneuver that came so close to working, and spike strips as well. And we're wondering if, in fact, Ileana said that the front tires on the passenger side seemed to be a little deflated, if perhaps that spike strip didn't work to a certain degree.
Assignment desk from Alpha on the 161. Desk from Alpha, if you can hear me, just checking to see if you want us to head back for home. 10-4, headed home. Thank you, Jim. We're clear to go home. Yeah.